जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद
जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद
जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद
जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद
जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद
जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद
जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद
नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशकारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. Today the topic is taking shelter of Lord Caitanya. So today is our fourth topic. Today's session will be a little different because so far we are covering Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life, teachings, then the Panchatattva, the Navadip Dham. But if we see in time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared some more than 500 years ago. Geographically, Navadip can be here also if we are having the correct route. But we want something now practical. Practically, how can we take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? How can we approach Gaudiya Vaishnavism? So today we are going to look at the practical aspects. There will be a lot of some reading quotes. Hopefully don't get a little bored. First we are going to look at, because the topic is taking shelter of Lord Caitanya, what is the real shelter? Shelter in the Sanskrit, Sharan. Sharan. What is that real shelter that we have to attain? Then choosing a proper shelter. Then Gaudiya Vaishnava. What is the meaning? ISKCON devotee, we are Gaudiya Vaishnava. And the process for surrender. So let's start real shelter. As usual, any questions you can ask in between. Real shelter. So now to put things in perspective, we are in this material world. What is the material world? What we understand from Brahma Samhita, Srimad Bhagavatam, that Krishna expanded into Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu went in one corner of Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha is an eternal place. It's never destroyed. So in one corner of Vaikuntha, Mahavishnu is lying down and he exhaled. When he exhaled, unlimited universes came out of the pores of his skin. In each of those universes, so many living entities are present. This is the material world. So, we are subject to material laws. There are many material laws. Number one is, first of all, this body. We have been tied to this body. We are bound. That's why we are called Nitya Baddha Jeev. We are tied to this body. You cannot say, I'll commit suicide, I'll get rid of the body. No, because you're still bound to the subtle body, which will take you to another gross body. So, we are under material laws, first of which is this body. Body is given to us, and the body behaves a certain way, we cannot reject. Body says, I'm hungry, we must feed it. I'm sleepy, we must sleep. Whatever the body demands, we have to give it. We are slaves to this body. More specifically, to the senses. Therefore, we are known as Godas. We have Goswami. Go means senses. One who is master of the senses, Goswami. Godas, servant of the senses. All of us, servant of the senses. So we are subject to the material laws. The plan of this material world is to cause us pain and suffering. It's not my opinion. This is Bhagavad Gita chapter 14. Krishna says, Mamupetya punarjanma dukhayalam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gata. Krishna says that after attaining me, these souls in this material world don't return to this place of suffering and temporality. Dukhayalam ashashvatam. As I mentioned before, once here in class, who knows what is Shikshalaya? Actually, what is that? School, okay. What is Granthalaya? Library. What is Alaya?
Space.
Place.
Home.
What is Dukkhalaya? This material world, Prabhupada is, Krishna is saying this material world is Dukkhalayam. He says, this is the place of suffering. We don't have any illusion. We are put here to suffer. If any of you thinks he's not suffering, it's only for a few minutes, or some time, but again back in the suffering mode. Don't be surprised. We are suffering, people are suffering, everywhere they're suffering. This is the plan of this material world. We are offenders, we turned away from Krishna. So this is the plan. So now, having come to this material world, I just put off the fan because my okay. Thank you. So now, having come to this material world, all of us immediately we are feeling, I'm suffering. So immediately impulse is to stop suffering. This is material life. Material life means life. This is life. Life means try to stop suffering. We call it going to school, getting a job, earning money, having good health. Actually, what we are trying to do is mitigate the suffering, because suffering means hunger. Mitigate that suffering. Then, whatever other suffering, hot, cold, hunger, thirst. Disease comes up. Now, just to mitigate that suffering, we are living our life and we are calling it life. Food, clothing, money. Actually, everything is to mitigate the suffering. So now, once we realize I am suffering, then we try to seek a shelter. Everyone tries to find shelter in a different way. Some people, they'll seek shelter in money. They think if I have a lot of money, I'll be safe in this material world. Others think I have to study a lot and get a very high degree and high PhD, and then I'll be very safe. Others think that we should have, well, I don't know, everyone has different shelters. Some say, okay, we should have a very big family, then we'll be safe. Actually, we can have all these things, but they're not the real shelter. Money, family, good health, education, they cannot save us. Why? Because the problem is this material world, and what we think is solution is also material. It's part of the material world. So we realize I'm suffering, we are seeking shelter. Shelter we are seeking, normally, due to ignorance, we are seeking a temporary shelter, which Bhagavatam explains as asat. Because our shelter should be not part of this material world, because suffering is the material things. So our shelter should be beyond matter. Okay, just like a person drowning, another one is drowning next to him. I'll save you. You're also drowning. The one who saves him should be out of the water on the ship or something. Or temporarily, okay, I'll jump in and save, but you have to take him somewhere out of the water. So shelter should not be of this material world. This is the point. My suffering is matter, this body, so many emotions, mind is also suffering, this everything, so much suffering. So solution should be out of this body, transcendental, triguna titya, beyond the three modes. Transcend means beyond, out of. So we have to seek that shelter which is out of this material world. So now we come to the idea that, okay, I'm suffering, I have to find a proper shelter. I realize I'm suffering. Okay, fine. So now we have to deliberate very thoughtfully that I am suffering, why am I suffering? And who will do this? Actually, many people won't think about this. Most people think about what I eat, where I eat, where will I sleep. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. 4 things people do in this material world. They'll not think beyond that. They're living a sensual life. Little higher than sensual is mental. Little, because their happiness is not on body platform, it's on mind platform. They'll go see some very nice show, theater, drama. Then that is mental level of happiness. Then high is intellectual. Intellectual people seek knowledge, science, philosophy, psychology. Then highest is spirituality, that is beyond everything. So we have to think about this carefully. Most people don't think about this. They'll think about the satisfying body, mind, that's it. But after going through this problem again and again and again, taking birth again and again, then we begin to perceive something is wrong. So we begin to seek knowledge. What is going on? What is going on? I'm not happy. I'm trying to seek happiness. Somehow I'm not happy. What is wrong? They're telling me do this, do that, and be happy. But I'm not happy. I'm doing those things. What everyone else did for generations, what we call normal life. So we begin to search. If we are unfortunate, we'll go to some bogus guru. This is very unfortunate. In the age of Kali, as Srimad Bhagavatam says, Sumanda Mate. Those who are in Kali interested, they get bewildered, misguided by so many bogus people. If we are very lucky, if we are very thoughtful, we'll come to the Vedas. Why shall we come to the Vedas? I realize I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. In your life, we will make mistakes. You tell, okay, I should have done this, I did this mistake. But not only me, others make mistakes. So why should I base my life, such an important decision, on my life or your or someone else's opinion, if we can make a mistake? So we look for perfect source. After some time, if we're very fortunate, we come to the Vedas. The Vedas are perfect source of knowledge. Whoever challenge, many people challenge it, but they cannot point out where, they say, no, how do you know it's perfect? You point out one mistake, because Vedas has medical knowledge, astrological knowledge, which is very much in use today. Even has architecture. Now, currently in South India, one temple is being built according to Shilp Shastra, exactly how temple should be built in ISKCON temple. So far it's not been done. But if you follow that, there are so many measurements which are very, very scientific, mathematical. The Garbha Griha, then the Shikhar on top should be this long, entrance with. So, if we are fortunate, we come to the Vedas, except this is perfect. So, Vedas are actually universal knowledge. It's for all people in all places, in all times. This is universal. Universal means not for one place or one time. Whereas, in contrast, there are other Shastras which Srila Prabhupada termed in his commentary to Chaitanya Charitamrita in one verse. He said, and I quote exactly the purport, he said that even the Yavanas and Mlechas have Shastras. They are called Old Testament, New Testament, and Quran. He said this. And he said, in contrast to the Vedas, they are temporary, they contradict one another, there's a lot of contradictions, and they're not scientific. Whereas Vedas is for all the planets in this universe. They're all having Vedas, but maybe different ones according to their karmic level. We also, according to Satya, Treta, Dwapar, Kali, certain Vedas are revealed to us. So now, the Vedas are the supermost excellent source of all knowledge. You may think, no, but we have so much knowledge in science today which is not coming from Vedas. No. In the Vedas is the periodic table. In the Vedas is the Pythagoras theorem, which we even know the shlokas. It's on, everything is on internet now. Also, many things are coming out now. That aeroplane was invented by someone in India, in Maharashtra. Then the British took it. So what we find, actually what we call modern knowledge is derived from the Vedas. So actually all knowledge is in the Vedas. Now, Vedas say Krishna is supreme and he appears in various yugas. So to go into great detail about this, we won't go in great detail. But we should know that Brahma Samhita, Rig Veda, Srimad Bhagavatam, they explain Krishna is supreme. In the Rig Veda, Brahmo Devaki Putraha, the Supreme Personality is Devaki's son, Krishna. So that's a whole other subject. So the Vedas say Krishna is supreme. He appears in different yugas. He appeared in Kali Yuga. So Vedas say also, in Kali Yuga, intelligent people in Kali Yuga joined the Sankirtan movement. Okay, we started off with that we are suffering in this world. I don't have to tell you, but actually, even that point people challenge. I was in Malawi distributing books, and I stopped one person. Why are we suffering? He said, I'm not suffering angrily. He told me. It's okay. then I have nothing to tell you. But sometimes when they tell me, then I argue, okay, why are you wearing shoes? It's hot. Your feet will get poked. And normally I used to distribute in front of one bank at lunchtime, because I know lunchtime everyone is moving around. And I said, he said, and if they say I'm not suffering, don't have lunch. What will happen? Lunch is to mitigate suffering because we are hungry. So actually, we said we are suffering. So we are suffering, we are seeking shelter, but the shelter people seek is different. They seek maybe music or movies or money or shelter of family, society, political party, ideology, veganism, communism, all kind of shelter people take. But these are not shelter. They're temporary, and they're also material. So we said the real shelter should be spiritual. So how will we get it? Come to the Vedas. And in the Vedas, if you study the Vedas properly, intelligent people in Kali Yuga joined the Sankirtan movement, the shloka there. We looked at it before. Sumedashaha. In age of Kali, intelligent people perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the holy name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Intelligent people suffering in age of Kali will chant Hare Krishna, will take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But how many intelligent people are there? Who is reading the Vedas? Who cares? We are just caring how I'll fill my stomach. That's all. But really, if someone is keen and they study, this is the verdict of the Shastra. Other verses. Computer, hang on 1 second. Okay. Okay, so we're looking at Kali Yuga's opinion on how you should take shelter of the suffering in Kali Yuga. Here we go. So this verse, ISKCON people chant Hare Krishna. Is it? No. This shloka comes in Kali Santran Upanishad. And then it says, Iti Shodashakam Namnam Kali Kalmasha Nashanam Nata Prataropai Sarvavideshu Vishati. We are repeating same verses, but to make people remember. These 60 names destroy the contamination of Kali Yuga. After searching through all Vedic literature, one cannot find a method of religion more sublime for this age. There is no other way. Srimad Bhagavatam, Kali Santana Upanishad is saying, if we are suffering, we want shelter, we have to chant Hare Krishna. This is the only way Shastra is saying. So this is logical conclusions. Another verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, my dear king, although Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, there is still one good quality about this age. Simply by chanting Hare Krishna, one can become free from material bondage and be promoted to the transcendental kingdom. So the proper shelter should be chosen by proper deliberation and studying of Shastra. It should not be taken emotionally or sentimentally. Some people, they take shelter of some guru or yogi because he has a very good way of speaking and discussing with politicians about philosophy. good way of speaking, but not the philosophy.
Prabhu, if taking shelter or inquiring about God is or religion is not in a state of emotional state or what should I say sentimental, then what should be the state of mind while seeking?
What should be the state of mind? You see,
because if you try to be very logical, then you might send a message of being arrogant. Because one of the interaction when somebody was asking, Prabhupada was very angry on him. He said, you have to take shelter. If you want to challenge, you will never reach anywhere. So that means, there has to be some balance. Then ultimately, the question arises, what should be the state of mind?
What should be state of mind when we are seeking? Because I'm saying we shouldn't be emotional, sentimental. You see, just look at sometimes some situation happens, emergency. At that time, some people panic. And others, okay, just calm down. Okay, we have to have our mind in the right place. But our suffering, because of suffering, will be very emotional or sentimental, whatever. One of my relatives was in army, so he told me that whatever training you get when you're on the battlefield is something totally different. And that time you see, and so they try to train you by putting you in a seat, but actually on the battlefield, people panic and run away and all kind of things happen. So we have to be philosophical, because look, I want to come up cycle of birth and death, I want to stop suffering. This is a very serious thing. It's different from, okay, which color car should I choose? So I had to be very sober. I had one chance. Well, of course we take birth again, but one chance, like the death is coming, and that's the chance I want to, it won't come again in this life. Death will come in this life once. So I have to make a good decision. So I have to be philosophical, with calm mind, and look at the issues, look at my life, what are people saying, what I should do. I have to reflect properly. Okay? And I'm saying we shouldn't be sentimental, emotional, in the sense, sentiment in the sense, look, I'm born in this family, from birth we are worshipping this person, or this Deva, or this Devi. So I am going to worship this. This is my Kula Dev, Ishtadev. So in one way this is a kind of sentiment. All glory, someone is having some sense, some religious sense, dharma, very good. But now we want to pick the point that we want to come out of this material world. It's a very serious decision. So we have to deliberate very nicely, look at the Shastra, discuss with people, and take it as a major decision. So that's what I meant, not sentiment and not emotional, but philosophical. Philosophical, based on knowledge, shlokas, discussing with acharyas, and make a decision, come to a decision, informed decision. So in that way. So we looked at different verses which is saying why the Vedas are saying that we should chant Hare Krishna for shelter from suffering in Kali Yuga and from the cycle of birth and death. So actually this is the reality. Now already, none of you are so new, and we already spoke philosophy of all this. So this is the reality, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who created this material world, who is running this body. I'm in the body, I'm not running it. He's doing the digestion, the sweat, making the blood go, making the hair grow, saliva, everything. This body is run by the Paramatma, Krishna. That Supreme Person who created this world, who will destroy it, came 538 years ago as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. When he came, he brought this Hare Krishna mantra. This mantra is the only shelter of Kali Yuga. We just saw the shloka. So this is the reality. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has outlined the practice for those who want to take up this process. As we mentioned, he didn't directly himself do it, but he empowered the 6 Goswamis who wrote many Shastras. So now I am here today. We are here today in Dar es Salaam, and I want to take up Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Mahaprabhu appeared 538 years ago. Now I'm here, and reality is I have a job, I have family, I have work, I have responsibilities, and I want to take up this process. So how will I do it? We have to take shelter of his representatives. Mahaprabhu's followers are called Gaudiya Vaishnavas. We have to take shelter of representative of Lord Caitanya. This is a practical thing. You say, I want to surrender to Krishna. I'm not going to go to any person. Okay, go to Krishna. Go. Where you go? I will go. Okay. Now in the church they have this, it's going on. Some of the sects, like, we don't want to go to the priest. It's just me and God.
Yes.
And this is the wife. Well, you can do that, but we will not understand something. Who do we go to? And we may not understand that instruction. Therefore, we have the Guru, the Acharya. We have Acharya. Acharya, we see Shastra through Acharyas. Now, the Vedas I want to read. Yes, I take shelter of Vedas. I agree. Vedas are vast. Shrutoyo Vibhinaha. The Mahabharata says, somebody who wants to come to the truth. Shrutoyo Vibhina. Tarko Pratishtha. Nasa Vrishir Matam Yasya Matam Na Bhinam. Then it says, that means I want to know the truth. What to do? Some may say, we'll discuss, we'll debate and find it. Tarko Apratishta, you'll never come to a decision. He'll quote one shlok, he'll quote another one. Tarko Pratishta, Shrutayo Vibhina. If you say, I'll find the truth myself, I'll open Rig Veda, Samaveda, Upanishads, they'll all say different things. And they'll apparently contradict. Shrutayo Vibhina, Tarko Pratishta. If you say that I'll go to learned scholars of Veda, they'll all have different opinions. Finally, we have to take shelter of Acharyas. Acharyas, they will appear, and for our time and our place, they will give how we should follow the Vedas. So Srila Prabhupada is an Acharya. We are saying this, and you can investigate that in this age of Kali, other than Srila Prabhupada, there is no way to follow the Vedas. He rewrote the Vedas practically in a way that we could understand. It's simple. And we even don't have intelligence to read the Vedas. So he put in small books. Very simple language. Otherwise we can't understand. Dharma, bhakti, who can understand? So, if we want to take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we take shelter of Srila Prabhupada. One may say there are other personalities, they are, but Shastra has predicted Prabhupada. I think we discussed that. So many quotes are there. It was a discussion, we didn't have it here. But now more and more evidence is coming how Srila Prabhupada is predicted in Shastra. Even in other Sampradayas. In Sri Sampradaya, Prabhupada is predicted. One Sri Vaishnava Brahmin who took Diksha in ISKCON wrote a book with the permission of his Guru. And one is called Divine Prophecy, where he has given outline how Mahaprabhu and Prabhupada predicted in his Sampradaya. So take shelter of Srila Prabhupada. Yes.
Which is the Sri Sampradaya? Is it?
Sri Sampradaya is under Lakshmi. It's one of the, after Brahma Sampradaya, very prominent. That is South India, Tamil Nadu, Sri Rangam, Kanchipuram.
Because you said two of them at
yeah, they drifted off sort of, but Sri Sampradaya is very powerful till now.
So, are they Balaji?
Balaji, yes. Sri Rangam, Kanchipuram, so many. So, from there, many of the sons of the Brahmana family, they now joining ISKCON. I know so many, because they wanted, to be born in a family like that means Purva Samskar. They were very pious, so that strong attraction to spirituality, they're finding ISKCON very practical to take it up and continue. So I personally know one wrote this book where he says how he predicted Mahaprabhu's year. He showed the verses and Prabhupada. So, practically speaking, Srila Prabhupada is the only shelter now, practical shelter, that we can take to understand the Vedas and follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, we have to conclude somewhere. I spoke so many things. We should become Gaudiya Vaishnavas by following ISKCON movement. Read Prabhupada's books, take his instructions, and achieve the supreme spiritual perfection of life. So, what am I saying? That we should become Gaudiya Vaishnavas. We have read, we now understood Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who he is. He is the Yugavatar, he brought the Yuga Dharma. Yes. So, let us follow him. Now everyone is here at 2 different degrees interested, following, some not following fully. So I'm going to outline highest standard here. All of you may not have reached that highest standard, but it's good to know what it is, isn't it? And gradually, actually, when we are following some process, no one can do it suddenly. It's a gradual process. But it's good to know what is the Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta that Srila Prabhupada has given us. Okay, the Gaudiya Vaishnava. Srila Prabhupada has taught us, and we look at the shlokas. Because again, let me remind you that we are here on the topic of taking shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu after realizing who he is. So representative is Srila Prabhupada, but we all have to take Diksha. Diksha Guru is none other than, you can say, Srila Prabhupada came in this form because the Diksha Guru is teaching exactly what Prabhupada says. From his books, we'll all have different gurus in ISKCON, but based on Prabhupada's books and teachings. So, Prabhupada has taught, taking shelter of Mahaprabhu means following his representative. Prabhupada has taught us that we chant 16 rounds a day. Gaudiya Vaishnavas chant Hare Krishna daily 16 rounds. Minimum. Don't stop. 16 if you want to go on. Okay, he also taught we observe 4 regulative principles. No meat eating, which means no meat, fish. I'm going to go through everything. Maybe you know it, but maybe you don't know. It's good to fill in the gaps. No meat, fish and eggs. Okay, for that we check ingredients also. We might buy some obscure masala, check the ingredients, onion, garlic, something. So no meat, fish and eggs. No meat eating. No intoxication, which includes tea, coffee, pan, tobacco, Coca-Cola. Did I miss anything? Chocolate? Anything else? Intoxication? Alcohol? Drugs? Okay?
Prabhuji,
Yes.
there were ISKCON devotees, Dikshit, who were serving Prabhupada. Sorry, I'm mentioning it, but this. They were saying that Srila Prabhupada himself, if we offered him chocolate, would have it and then we would have Dasbushan.
Cookies.
So many of them, not one, so many of them were saying, don't you
Not chocolate, cookies.
Chocolate was the one, and he said,
No,
he left someone
well,
in the prasad and then I had it as prasad.
Okay. We'll go through this whole presentation. I'll come back to that point. Okay. What I remember is, once they told Prabhupada, this is chocolate, what is it? He ate it. What is it? Chocolate. What does it have? Then he mentioned, this is intoxicant. What is that? Caffeine is in it. Okay, that is a specific thing. Okay. We'll go through this whole presentation, then you can ask about that point. But any other kind of question you can ask in between. So we looked at no meat eating, no meat, fish, eggs. Second is no intoxication, I listed it. Okay, third is no illicit relation between men and women. That means only in marriage and only to produce a child. This is what Prabhupada taught. And also, not only action but thinking in the mind or seeing or hearing, all of this, illicit relation, association with women. This is destroyer of bhakti. Okay. And fourth is gambling. And under gambling, Srila Prabhupada put sports. The sports is, we put it together with gambling. How? I don't know. Maybe who's going to win the match? But Vaishnava sports is swimming and some other things are there. Okay, so things that Prabhupada taught us. Prabhupada said, we're going to look at quotes here. To read daily 2 hours or at least 1 hour, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Last I couldn't fit CC, Chaitanya Charitamrita. He said to read daily 2 hours or 1 hour. And somewhere he said 3 hours. Now that looks like very fanatical, crazy people reading so much. But you should understand, we have a very serious disease. It's called Maya. Very serious. Not only that, but we are in the kingdom of Maya. We need a heavy dose to come out. It's not a light thing. In one quote, Prabhupada was saying, like if you jump in the ocean and you want to save yourself, you cannot do it just by few strokes. You really have to struggle. So we have to understand. Actually, let me just go through all and then I'll speak about that. Yeah, he mentioned to eat only prasadam. That means food. Again, I want to remind you, I'm putting a very high standard here. Don't get afraid. If you're not following this, it's a gradual process. Okay, but it's good to know what Prabhupada said. I'm just explaining what is a Gaudiya Vaishnava. Okay. All glories to all of you to come here and coming again and hearing. That's very good. Eating only prasadam, Prabhupada said in so many quotes. Actually, I'm doing a study on this. I got so many quotes. I'm preparing a presentation. In many purports in Bhagavatam, Prabhupada explains, food for human beings is remnants of Krishna. It may seem like strange today, but we're looking now, just last 100,000 years, but how long has passed since creation, since Satyayug? And throughout that time, everyone is eating Krishna Prasada. It was a normal thing. Even in one Greek, I don't know what word to use, mythological, I don't know what to use, I don't like that word, but the Greek work called Iliad. There's a conversation and someone came home very exhausted and tired and his mother shouted to the servants, quickly offer some water to God and bring it to him. Even in that condition, she said, offer the water to God and bring it. This is Greek, but Greek is offshoot of Vedic culture that we find out from. So, the point is here, eating only prasadam. Prasadam means food cooked by devotees and offered by devotees to Krishna. In extreme case, something here and there, then we have to eat. Better don't die, eat something. But, yeah.
So if that person say offer the water to God and then, so they must be a deity even in those times?
Yes, Greeks had deities. They had Zeus. I don't know the names, but Zeus was the god of heaven, and he carried Zeus, god of heaven. He carried a thunderbolt. Does it sound familiar? Indra. Same, everything same. They had the same. And there's a presentation done by one ISKCON devotee. He's British, Radha Mohan, and he studied the Greek philosophy and pantheon of gods, and he said it's directly corresponding to the Vedic. Actually, Vedic Greek civilization started, if you read Mahabharata, when Parashurama was persecuting the Kshatriyas. Some escaped to Egypt, some to Iraq, Sumeria, and to Greece.
Who was persecuting?
Parashurama. So, we see that these are all Vedic derivative cultures. And there are so many things. If you look at their paintings, they're wearing dhotis and sari, but they call it toga. And the priests had some kind of shikha, and they had temples. But a lot of things have been covered up by Western so-called historians. So many things are covered up. Otherwise, what is the extent of Vedic culture in the whole world? How it all came from there? It's very clear. Books have been written on it by Westerns. Okay, went a little off. So eating only prasadam, Gaudiya Vaishnavas don't eat anything because whatever we eat is we take the consciousness of the cook. Next, daily Mangalarati. Prabhupada would explain that if we wake up before sunrise, we are in Sattva-gun. That's it. If we wake up after the sunrise, you cannot come to Sattva-gun no matter what you do that day, whatever you chant or do, anything. So, and many places he put this figure, 4 a.m. for him mentioned. But the point is before sunrise waking up, and especially at the period called Brahma Muhurta. Muhurta means 48 minutes. If you take sunrise and you take 3 muhurtas before sunrise, that is beginning of Brahma Muhurta. The muhurt lasts for 2 muhurts. That period is very suitable in 24 hours for spiritual life. Anything you do makes a deep impression in your subconscious, and the whole day that impression will be there. So anyone serious about spiritual life, and it includes all of followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they wake up early such that at Brahma Muhurta they practice some chanting, and Prabhupada is given what to do. We chant We sing Gurvashtak, honor the Guru. Then we honor Nrsingadev to remove obstacles to bhakti. Then we do Tulsi Puja to pray to her, to give mercy, to advance in bhakti. Then we chant Hare Krishna. So daily Mangal Arati, this is Gaudiya Vaishnava. Then attending lectures, serving in the temple. Everyone is near a temple, so attend the programs regularly in the temple, because on our own we cannot do it on our own. Even if we are so serious, whatever we are, but if we disconnect, then all the strength goes. That includes us also, everyone. Kalau Shakti Sangha. In Kali, strength will come from association. In Satya Yuga, Dhyana was the Yuga Dharma, and that you had to be alone in the forest, not Kali Yuga. You must always be in Sangha, with devotees. Strength will come. Prabhupada writes in Krishna Lila, Krishna book, simply by associating with devotees we advance. He said this is Agyata Sukriti. Without knowing it, just sit with the Vaishnavas. And Ramanujacharya from Sri Sampradaya, he said that you do your dharma, do your swadharma, do your karma, do everything. You attempt to come to Vishnu, attempt to get liberated in this life. If you cannot do it, if you don't have any strength, just come and sit with the Vaishnavas, he said. You cannot do anything, I can't read, I can't chant, just come and sit with the Vaishnavas. And he said, they will carry you to Vaikuntha. In a different words, he said that. So, Gaudiya Vaishnavas regularly attend lectures, programs, and serve in the temple and do services. This helps them. Okay? Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Prabhupada also spoke about wearing Vaishnava attire. Here it's not so, I mean, okay, this is here, not in India, this is out of India. So you may think it's difficult, but you have to go today to London, Moscow, and some parts of America, and you see devotees, families, householders, wearing dhotis to work and to wherever they go. In some places it's not practical, they will not allow work, school and all this, but it is today common in parts of Moscow to see people wearing dhoti in the street. I'm not talking about brahmacharis, grihasthas, sari, dhotis. So Vaishnava attire. Why? Because clothes make a big difference on our consciousness. When we come home from work, sometimes we say, I have to wear something more comfortable. We understand that. So clothes make a big impression. And the cloth of Vaishnavas is the same as what is worn in Vaikuntha. Vedic culture is from Vaikuntha, it's not made up. Other cultures like African and Arab and Indian, Chinese, all of this is evolved according to time and place. But Vedic culture is not evolved, it's from Vaikuntha. What we eat, what we wear, as we speak, everything is perfect, it's coming from Vaikuntha. So this is Gaudiya Vaishnava attire. In one bhajan, Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, Gaura Bhakta Vesha Dadhana Tilaka Tulasi Mala Shobhaman, that I will wear, to follow Mahaprabhu and to please him, Gaura Bhakta Vesha Dadhana, I will wear the cloth dear to Gaura, the devotees of Gaura, and Tilaka Tulasi Mala Shobhaman, Tilak, Tulasi Mala. So these are Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Okay, now, as I said, even if we are not able to follow, we can understand the standard and keep it as an what is possible gradually. Now let's look at Srila Prabhupada's instructions, which are same as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, regarding some of these things. Okay, now there will be so many things to say, but I limit it to chanting Hare Krishna and reading literature. Other things are obvious, like four regulative principles. So chanting Hare Krishna. Now we look at quotes of Srila Prabhupada, chanting, then reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. So now chanting Hare Krishna, Prabhupada writes, devotional service begins with chanting of Hare Krishna mantra and side by side trying to understand Krishna in truth. Now in Kali Yuga, spiritual life means chanting. Practically speaking, if we want to be spiritual, chanting is number one. If we are not chanting, then we didn't start. But however, Prabhupada didn't tell people immediately to start. He said, okay, learn the philosophy, read the book, do you understand? You're not the body. You have to understand that. But you have to understand, finally you have to chant. today, tomorrow, next life. We have to chant to get liberated in Kali Yuga. Next quote, the Mahamantra is there. Prabhupada says, in Kali Yuga, if this Vedic Mahamantra is chanted regularly and heard regularly by the devotional process of Shravanam, Kirtanam, it will purify all societies. Thus humanity will be happy both materially and spiritually. Materially also, if we do our yajna, if we do yajna, Sankirtan yajna, if we satisfy Vishnu, he'll provide everything. He says in Bhagavad Gita also, in Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, Krishna is telling Arjuna, Saha yajna prajasishta puro acha prajapati, that in the beginning all the conditioned souls were brought to this material world. At the same time the Vedas were brought. Saha yajna, yajna was brought. How to do yajna? Because we have to satisfy the demigods who providing light, heat, rain and all this. Then Krishna says that Anena prasayishadvam eshavo isvashta kamadhuk. They will provide all your desires, the demigods. If you do yajna, yajna means you satisfy Vishnu. Now this Sankirtan yajna is the main yajna now in Kali. If you chant Hare Krishna in Kirtan, you are worshipping God. In Kali Yuga, you find a picture of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all of you sit and chant Hare Krishna. This is the topmost worship. If we don't do that, if we don't do yajna, what will happen? Indra will stop giving rain. Rains won't come. Bhumi will not give result for your crops. We'll plant the seed, she will not give the fruits. Fruits won't come on the trees, or they'll delay or become less. And Varuna will get upset and flood the lands, destroy civilization. Demigods will not cooperate. They are not supposed to cooperate with our sense gratification. They are supposed to provide so that we can serve Krishna. We have to serve Krishna. So they are assisting us. But if we decide, I won't worship God, but I'll enjoy this water, rain, and fruits, and they'll stop. And that's practically what will happen in Kali Yuga. They will stop. Sankirtan is a compulsory. It's not an option. So Prabhupada writes, in Kali Yuga, if you simply chant Hare Krishna, materially, spiritually, everything will be taken care of. Next quote on chanting. Simply by chanting this mantra, one can remain in a liberated state. Here, a Vaishnava bestows the priceless gift of the Mahamantra. So Vaishnavas, they'll preach and give the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Simply by chanting Mahamantra, one can be in a liberated state. What does this mean? If I'm not in a liberated state, I'm under my karma, I'm under Maya. I don't know what is my karma. Next second, what will happen to me? If I'm not a Jiva Mukta, I'm under karma. I'm under the Maya Devi, Durga Devi, and I'll suffer. But when I chant Hare Krishna, I destroy karma. I'm not under karma. Jiva Mukta Sauchate. He is a liberated. Living and working in this world, he is liberated by chanting Hare Krishna. Prabhupada writes, chant 16 rounds regularly and no power in all the three worlds will make you fall down. Krishna will save you always. Srila Prabhupada's letter to one of his disciples. By chanting 16 rounds, following the regulative principles, rising early, reducing one's eating and sleeping, one gets spiritual energy. If one follows these guidelines for 12 years, all he speaks will be perfect. It's another way of saying he'll be liberated. That whatever he speaks will be perfect. In other words, when he's speaking, inside Paramatma is giving intelligence. So, these are gurus. That Paramatma is speaking through him directly. Whatever you ask, he's giving you guidance. This is perfect. So, this is the way. This is the way. There is no other way. Either this life, next life, next life. But finally, if we want to exit this material world, we have to come to this point. One need only chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Everyone engaged in the practice of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra will be completely cleansed from the core of his heart and be saved from the cycle of birth and death. Simply by chanting Hare Krishna, we'll come out of cycle of birth and death. It seems so impossible. to accept this, because people think spiritual life is something very complicated, so many things to do, and so many procedures. Okay, if you want to do that, but the point is, you cannot do it. In Kali, we cannot do this. No one knows. Where's the time? Where's the intelligence? Where's the energy? It's not possible. So this is a simple process. As Prabhupada said, it's so simple you might miss it. This is the procedure. We should know in perfect consciousness that human life is bestowed upon the conditioned soul to achieve spiritual success. And the easiest possible procedure to attain this end is to chant the holy name of the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam 2.1.12. Easiest process. Okay, now we spoke about chanting. Now, as Prabhupada emphasized these things, chanting, another is reading Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, and hearing the lectures, as you know. So let's look at now, I'm coming to some quotes, a lot of quotes, not so many, some 5 slides. Okay, so it's difficult when you're hearing to keep attention, but try to. It's very important. These are all Srila Prabhupada's words. Fulfill the aim of life. In other words, if men in this age of Kali want to see the real light of life, they must take to these 2 books only, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and their aim of life will be fulfilled. The Bhagavad Gita is the preliminary study of the Bhagavatam, and Srimad Bhagavatam is the summum bonum of life. Lord Sri Krishna personified. We must therefore accept Srimad Bhagavatam as the direct representative of Lord Krishna. One who can see Srimad Bhagavatam can see Lord Krishna in person. They are identical. If when we study Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life, we'll see he always quoted Bhagavatam, he always read it, he always discussed it with whoever he met. There are 2 narrative books which especially concern the words and activities of Krishna. Bhagavad Gita is the instruction given by Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam is the book containing topics exclusively about Krishna and his devotees. These 2 books are the special nectar of the words of Krishna. For those who engage in preaching of these 2 Vedic literatures, it's very easy to get out of the illusory conditioned life imposed upon us in mind. Krishna is very happy when this knowledge is propagated. So it can mean giving books to people or inducing them to read or whatever, but we very easily advance. Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. The secret of success is unknown to people in general. Therefore, Vyasadeva, being compassionate towards the poor souls in this material world, especially in this age of Kali, has given us Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavam Anam Priyam. For Vaishnavas who are somewhat advanced or who are fully aware of the glories and potencies of the Lord, Srimad Bhagavatam is a beloved Vedic literature. After all, we have to change this body. Death has to come. If we do not care about Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, we do not know what the next body will be. But if one adheres to these 2 books, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, one is sure to obtain association of Krishna in the next life. So, Vedas are vast, but for us, Gita Bhagavatam, we should remember this. Gita Bhagavatam is what we need to study and absorb in this life. And from this we'll get success. Other quotes now, regarding reading in general. Srila Prabhupada said, reading is a must. All of the devotees connected with this Krishna consciousness movement must read all of the books that have been translated. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita and others. Otherwise, after some time, they will simply eat and sleep and fall down from their position. Thus, they will miss the opportunity to attain an eternal blissful life of transcendental pleasure. So I'm emphasizing, some of you are especially new to spiritual life, you must embrace this idea of reading regularly, Granth. Actually, if you go back, you just see your grandparents, they will be reading Gita. They will sit and read Gita and discuss it. Great-grandparents, they'll be reading, or if they could not read, they'll sit and hear. Every evening, before TV came. Now everyone is watching TV. Regularly read. Prabhupada is saying, please regularly chant Hare Krishna and read Srimad Bhagavatam. Very soon we'll get other books like Bhagavad Gita, teachings of Lord Caitanya, and always read and talk about Krishna between yourselves. And always remember, this life is but a flash. Very fast this life will go. I remember 2003, I was here, I joined ISKCON, I was new. Now I'm coming, seeing the same place, and it looks like yesterday. Then I'm thinking, where did these years go? 21 years, where did it go? But actually life is like that. It will go very fast. So don't postpone. Life will just go very fast. We have to seek after our eternal life in Krishna consciousness and be transferred to the spiritual world in the association of Krishna. Continue to keep your present attitude. Certainly, even within this life, you will be successful in attaining perfection of Krishna consciousness. So we looked at chanting. This is reading. At least twice a day, all devotees who desire to know may ask their questions to the elderly members of this society, but still they are open to write to me. Prabhupada is saying. I reply each and every letter I receive, but it's better if simple questions are solved amongst yourselves. Every one of you must regularly read our books at least twice, morning and evening, and automatically all questions will be answered.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
I think there is advice from him that one should be read in the morning, the other in the evening.
Which books?
Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavatam, but he advises to read one in the morning and one.
Yeah, generally I'll read Gita 15-20 minutes in the morning, and serious reading in the evening, Bhagavatam. Because Bhagavatam you need time to go deep and enter. It's very, very deep subject matter. Bhagavad Gita in one verse it can encapsulate philosophy. But
So
if someone has a preference, it's up to you. Yeah. Gita in the morning, Bhagavatam in the evening. 1 or 2 hours. I'm very much stressing at this point, Prabhupada is stressing again, so many quotes. All of my students shall be very much conversant with the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. They should read our books diligently at least 1 or 2 hours daily. Try to understand the subject matter from varieties of angles. I know people in India, Grahasthas, especially Gujarat and Karnataka. One person in Gujarat, he has a business, currently cloth merchant. He read Bhagavatam 10 times. Bhagavatam is 18 books, 18,000 verses. And he read Chaitanya Charitamrita 8 times. So now, don't think, oh, these brahmacharis have time, sannyasi, we are working, we have family. It's true, and definitely you're busy. But I know so many. I know another person, his name is Vaishnav Dharmadas. He's living in Bangalore. He works in an IT company. He has one daughter, and he's a family man. For years he wakes up, he sleeps 8:30, wakes up 2:30, reads 1 hour Bhagavatam, and like this, since for years he finished Bhagavatam 10 times also. And so we have to just reorganize our life and eliminate social media. That takes time. TV. Actually, many times, I know one sannyasi, very good idea he has, okay, I can share it with you. People say, we don't buy Srimad Bhagavatam because we don't have space to put it, and we don't have money. So he said, the best thing for your spiritual life, take the TV and sell it. With that money, you buy Bhagavatam. And that place is there, now you put Bhagavatam there. So it's possible. I'm
now we have apps also.
Yeah, you can read on apps, but for a long time, sometimes digital fatigue is difficult.
Yes.
But spiritual life, I'm telling you, we're talking about Gaudiya Vaishnavas. It's a very, very serious, very powerful method if you follow it. You have to disassociate from this modern entertainment things like TV. Enough, see the news or something for your business or your studies. But you have to start absorbing in Shastra as your ancestors did. They read Gita, Bhagavad, every house has Gita, they discuss, everyone knew Ramayana, now we can absorb in this materialistic life. But this movement and these books can pull you out. So you have to adjust your life like this, 1 or 2 hours a day. Read every day, another quote, so many quotes. Be sure to read my books very carefully. Bhagavad Gita, then Srimad Bhagavatam, then Chaitanya Charitamrita. So who read Gita? Whoever did it, read Gita. Who read Gita? Read Bhagavatam. Who read Bhagavatam? Read Chaitanya Charitamrita. Read it again. Prabhupada, you should read every day without fail. Okay? And as many people think, only we in ashram will do that. But look, letter to Urvashi Patel. It's for everyone. Know God. So knowledge of transcendental nature of birth and deeds of Lord Shri Krishna is sufficient for liberation. In the Bhagavatam, the transcendental nature of the Lord is described in 9 cantos. In the 10th canto, his specific pastimes are taken up. All this becomes known as one's reading of his literature progresses. Keep literature at home. Now some quotes about that we must keep Prabhupada's books at home. Okay, here this is a quote from Nectar of Devotion of Srila Prabhupada, but it's a quote from Skanda Purana. A person who is constantly engaged in reading literature, enunciating the cultivation of Vaishnava devotional service, is always glorious in human society. Certainly Lord Krishna becomes pleased with him. A person who is very careful, who carefully keeps such literature at home and offers respectful obeisance to it, becomes freed from all sinful reactions, ultimately becomes worshipped by demigods. That means keeping Srimad Bhagavatam at home, Chaitanya Charitamrita, because people say, oh, shall we put it at home? It will break the family, or so many things have come up nowadays. Okay, this is from Bhagavatam Mahatmya Skanda Purana. If even a quarter or a quarter of a verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is kept in one's house, that is glorious. For what is the need of accumulating thousands of literatures? In Kali Yuga, one who does not keep Srimad Bhagavatam in his house can never be delivered from the control of Yamaraj. In Kali Yuga, how can one be considered a Vaishnava who does not keep Srimad Bhagavatam in his house? He is more abominable than a Chandala. This is in Skanda Purana. There are pages and pages of quotes. I just took out one. Conclusion in this section, the only way. So conclusion, by the example of these sages, Naimisharanya, one should learn that regularly hearing and recitation of Bhagavatam is the only way for self-realization. Other attempts are simply waste of time, for they do not give any tangible result. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preached the system of Bhagavad Dharma. And he recommended all those who were born in India should take responsibility of broadcasting the message of Lord Sri Krishna, primarily message of Bhagavad Gita. When one is well established in teachings of Bhagavad Gita, don't stop there. He can take up study of Srimad Bhagavatam for further enlightenment, for self-realization. Okay, now finally, process of surrender, which is what we said in the beginning, that for all of you have come, very nice. Take up this process gradually in your time, in your way, but come to the standard. Read Gita, read Bhagavatam, read daily. Read it again and again. Make time. Organize your day. Okay? Attend regular ISKCON satsangs wherever you are. Read books every day. Understand the philosophy. It's a question of making a schedule. If you want, I can give you contacts of people who are running big businesses and all that, and who are reading and how they do it, how they can exchange some ideas. Okay, begin chanting Hare Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna. Who is not? This is the only way. If you have doubts, ask people. Ask people who are already chanting, already reading, taken Diksha, they are on the path. Ask them, how can we come on this path? Okay. Begin to offer what we are cooking. Every day we are cooking, we have to cook. So, extra 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you can offer it to Krishna. Then it becomes prasad. Then what happens? Yajna Shrishti Nasanta Muchante Sarva Kilvishay. Chapter 3, text 12. Krishna says, the santas who offer whatever they eat, Muchante Sarva Kilvishay, they destroy all the sins. Gradually. All the karma is destroyed. Daily Mangalarti. So waking up early means sleeping early. If you sleep by 9:30, 10, you can wake up early. After that it's difficult. Wearing Vaishnava attire, this is a big difference. It changes our mind. Also another thing is gradually taking up the Vedic culture. The culture of Vedic. Because as Srila Prabhupada explained, the Vedic culture, it gives us support that if we are doing bhakti and we are not able, or something we fail in some way, but the culture will save us. The culture, Vedic culture. Start today. I'll start tomorrow. When I finish, when I move back to India, or when these kids grow up, or no, start today. Tomorrow never comes. Today, not tomorrow, today. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.